Hello and welcome back to the channel. After our trip through the northern half of Portugal, we begin a new journey, a new adventure, which this time will take us a little further, and will cross all of Europe until we get to Poland, which we will visit from north to south, before passing to the Czech Republic, where we visit the northern part and Prague, and then enjoy the Italian and French Alps. And if you like our video, do not forget to like it, subscribe and activate notifications so that you know when we upload a new video. As we mentioned at the beginning of the video, after enjoying a nice trip through the northern half of Portugal, and of which we leave you in the link to the playlist in the description, we embark on a new adventure, which on this occasion takes us to travel Poland from north to south, the north of the Czech Republic and Prague, then move to the Alps, and in Italy visit the Dolomites and the Aosta Valley, and part of the Alpes in France. It will be a trip of a little more than a month, and during which we will travel about 9,000 kilometers, crossing France and Germany to Poland. During the journey to the border with Poland, we will travel by highway except for France, where part of the journey will be carried out by motorway, and part by secondary roads to avoid the expensive tolls from France. The journey between Torrevieja and the border of Poland will take us to travel about 2,500 kilometers, distance that without much rush we travel in about 3 days. The first day we slept already in La Junquera, very close to France. On the second day, after crossing France, we slept in Germany, in a small village very close to the border between Germany and France. On the third day after crossing Germany, we arrived in Poland and slept in Poznan, the first Polish city where we started our adventure. Poznan, which has about 500,000 inhabitants, is the capital of the region of Great Poland, and is recognized for being the cradle of the Polish nation, in the past fulfilling the function of the state capital and being the residence of Polish monarchs. We begin our visit to the historic center at Plac Kolegiaki, a small but beautiful and colorful square, of which we will visit several in Poland, and in which the bell tower of the Basilica Minor of St. Stanislaus stands out. Here we also find two goats fighting, one of the symbols of the city of Poznan, a symbol that derives from a legend, according to which to celebrate the inauguration of the town hall clock, they commissioned a young cook to prepare the main dish, a veal leg, with such bad luck that the veal foot fell into the brass and burned. The cook ran to a nearby meadow, where he stole two goats, which he took to the kitchen, which escaped and reached the corner of the tower, where they began to give each other heads. He made the mayor and the guests so funny, that they forgave the cook, and commissioned the watchmaker to make a mechanism to recreate the moment. After this legend, we continue to enjoy visiting this beautiful square, presided over by the old Jesuit college and its beautiful courtyard, where Napoleon lived for 3 weeks and Chopin gave some concerts. Nearby we find the Basilica Minor of St. Stanislaus, considered one of the most beautiful Baroque churches in Poland, built in the 18th century, and that survived the Second World War. The beautiful pink facade hides in its interior a small and beautiful Baroque-style church, beautifully adorned with golden details, and on which stands an organ that has more than 2,600 tubes. This beautiful church has its own legend. The ghost of an old woman dressed in black has been seen on several occasions on the balcony of the organ, which is difficult to access. It is believed to be the soul of a woman, who donated a large sum of money to buy the organ in 1870, and who still keeps it today. We left this beautiful temple, and following the street in front of its facade, we arrived in a short time at the Stary Rynek, the old market square, a beautiful square that is the most tourist point of the city, where the most powerful families built their houses. Here we find a mixture of Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque and neoclassical buildings, much of which was destroyed during World War II, being subsequently rebuilt and restored to its original state. Next to the town hall we find a group of colorful houses, the merchants' houses, located in the same place, in which in the 13th century, there were merchant posts where salt, candles, torches and all kinds of objects were sold. In the 15th and 16th centuries, the stores were replaced by these beautiful houses, with the store on the ground floor and the housing on the upper floors. And as a curiosity, the houses are so narrow because they couldn't be wider than the market posts. Next to the merchant houses we find the beautiful town hall, an impressive 16th century building, which throughout its history suffered several disasters, such as a fire, a hurricane, or the bombing during the Second World War, after which it was completely rebuilt. In front of the town hall, every day at 12 noon, you can see tourists looking towards his tower and see the goats fighting, beating their horns 12 times. Near the town hall, in a narrow street, we find a fountain with a curious figure, the Bamberka, a tribute to the Bambers, poor Catholic farmers from Bavaria, who migrated to the Poznan area in the 18th century, to help rebuild the villages destroyed by the war and the plague. As a curiosity, this statue was created by the sculptor who would later become Reich's culture senator and Hitler's favorite artist. Very close to the square we find the royal castle, which was also rebuilt after the Second World War. This castle was built in the 13th century, and can be visited for free, and from the top of its tower we have a stunning panorama of the city. It is said that this castle has its own ghost, the ghost of Princess Ludgarda, who walks like a white lady through the rooms and the castle wall. Legend has it that she was murdered by her servants on December 14, 1962 at the orders of her husband, who was upset that she had not given her a male heir. But there is also another ghost in the castle, the ghost of a black knight, who apparently wept for the Duchess during her funeral. Near the royal castle we find the Imperial Castle, an impressive castle built in 1910 for the German Emperor William II, at the time when Poznan was part of the German Empire. Today the castle houses a cultural center, and in its interior in the so-called Courtyard of Roses, you can see a copy of the fountain of the Courtyard of the Lions of the Alhambra. Next to the castle we find the Enigma Encryption Center, the machine that allowed the exchange of encrypted messages from the Germans during the Second World War, and in whose decryption the Polish mathematicians, who between the First and Second World Wars, had studied at the mathematics faculty of the University of Poznan, which had its headquarters in the Imperial Castle. It is a partly interactive museum, which travels through the entire history of encryption and cryptography, before reaching the part devoted to the Enigma machine. And in this curious place we end our visit to Poznan, as a strong storm prevented us from continuing to enjoy this beautiful city, which I am sure you will like us, and will encourage you to continue to know more places in Poland.